Hello, my name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today I want to talk about encryption. Encryption has been something that's been in the news quite a bit lately, mostly because more recently the head of the FBI in the United States called for companies like Apple to assist them in unlocking cell phones for law enforcement investigations into mass shootings. Even though encryption is talked about a lot, it's not explained probably very well, and people don't really understand how different technologies use encryption and how we use it in our day-to-day lives. Encryption enables us to do many other things that we're able to do on the internet, like banking, the way that we secure our phones, the way that we put data in the cloud. If we weren't able to do that in secure fashion, the internet would not be very useful to us as individuals or to businesses. A lot of times when people talk about things like encryption, they aren't really discussing the different modes of encryption and sort of how encryption works. So from a simple perspective, there's an encoding and decoding of a message, almost like a key needed to unlock an encrypted device or a encrypted piece of data. So encryption can be applied to information on a file level, like a folder level, at a hardware or software level, or anything in between, or even more than one type of encryption. So when we're talking about encryption, things can be encrypted at rest, things can be encrypted in transit, things can be encrypted end to end. Paul Manafort unfortunately found out the hard way about encryption. He was sending a message on one of the encrypted message apps, which is encrypted end to end, but his backup of that information was not encrypted. So it's really important when we're talking about encryption that we explain to people what encryption is and what it does. A lot of times, as I say with encryption, in order to unlock or decrypt the message, there has to be a key. And for many of us, that key is ourselves. So if you're using a cell phone where you're using your thumbprint or your face to unlock a phone, you are part of the encryption or decryption chain of events having to do with handling your data. Recently, in 2018, Australia passed the strictest law in the world about encryption, having to do with getting the assistance of companies that develop technologies that have encryption for serious law enforcement type of crimes. The problems with this, or the problems that people see with this type of assistance or these types of requests, is creating vulnerabilities into technologies, what people call backdoors, where any person for nefarious purposes can also use these vulnerabilities and actually make devices or data or information a lot less secure. In Australia, they're trying to balance this by not having companies invent or create capabilities that they don't currently have with their application, and also try to avoid anything that creates what they call sort of a systemic vulnerability. The problem is that many applications or many types of ways that encryption is implied, that is really the only way to decrypt something is to create this type of systemic vulnerability. So hopefully in the years to come, there'll be more information out there about encryption, what it does, what it doesn't do, why it's good or why it's bad. I think that there needs to be more dialogue and more, in addition to more information, sort of more acknowledgement that encryption is not just one thing, and it's not as simple as unlocking certain things, especially if the key is your eyes, biometric information. Thank you.